Hello guys, today we'll talk about the herbology and the 10 basic theories of herbs produced by ATCM College. The contents are two parts. The first is introduction of 10 basic theories of herbology, and the second is taking Gancao as an example. We first look at the 10 basic theories of the herbology and also the characteristics of each herb. The first is called nature. In Chinese, it's called 四气, four natures. It describes how an herb affects yin and yang balance. The nature has turned to be cold or cool. The cold or cool herbs means it has the effect to clear heat, reduce inflammation, and calms. While the herbs have another opposite natures as warm and hot. It has an effect to dispel cold, warms yang, and stimulate the yang of the body, stimulate the energy of the body. And besides the four natures, there's actually a neutral nature. Is called the medium, or the no cold, no cool, no warm, no hot nature. It has the effect to generate regulation and is safe for long-term use. So that nature of herbs can be used widely in the formulas and in the wellness and health preservation. Example, if the people appears symptoms like fever and thirst, it means it has internal heat, and we need to use cold herbs to clear the heat and return the balance of yin and yang. Well, if on the contrary, if the people appears chills or cold limbs, that often means they have coldness inside of the body. So we need to use warm herbs to warm up yang, and also the purpose is to get back the balance of the body, the yin and yang balance of the body. That's the first theory, or the first characteristic of each herb is called nature, 四气, or four natures. The second is called the taste of the herb. The taste of herb is also called 五味, five tastes. That means what the herb does functionally. The taste you can find in the books. There are 5 kinds of taste. Sweet, which has the main function to tonify, to harmonize, or to moderate. The bitter taste, it clears heat, dries dampness, and drains downward, which means put the movement of the qi, or the fluid, to go downward. Sour, it means astringes, stabilizes, and prevent leakage. That's the sour taste herb's function. While pungent or acrid, it moves qi and blood and disperse. And here it means disperse the guarding qi, which means the pungent or the acrid herbs can expel, disperse the pathogen through the skin and through the exterior of the body. While salty herbs, It has a function to soften hardness, purge, and also directs downwards. Here, the bitter herbs and the salty herbs, they both have the movement to move the yang qi, or to move the fluid to go downwards. That's the function of the herb taste, and that taste shows the function of the herbs. And the taste predicts direction and action. That's the most important part of the taste nature, the taste character or taste ingredients of each herb, not flavor only, which means the herb's taste not bitter, but it has been categorized as bitter taste. So lots of the herbs not only taste bitter but also have the bitter taste. The second bitter taste means it has a function to clear the heat, dries dampness, and drains downward. So this taste is not actually means the flavor is not the meaning of how you feel when you chew the herbs in your mouth, but it's a character to have the function of bitter herbs. That's the second one, taste. The third one, and it's also the most important characteristic and theory of the herbs, is called channel selection, 归经. It means where the herbs primarily works. It has trained to go to the specific channels or organs. I like to simplify as organ selection. That means the herb primarily goes to the specific organ and plays function there. So the warm herbs, the bitter herbs, no matter what kind of warm and bitter, we have to know about the channel selection, the organ selection. Where does this herb function go? So I think it's the most important characteristic, and the invention of TCM in herbology, that's its channel selection. And I'll explain it and simplify it afterwards about how the herbs go to the specific organ. So I like to use organ selection, not channel selection. But this theory is just a simplified version of channel selection. Herbs enter specific organ system and channels and act more strongly there. It has priority functional in the specific organ. That's channel selection means. 5 organ channels most emphasized liver is based on the 5 element theory, as we discussed for many times. 5 element theories, 5 organs play the most important part in the TCM theory, differentiation, pattern, and treatment. Well, liver, the wood, the channel selection. If the herbs choose liver or wood, it plays a function like qi flow, and it has connection with emotions, blood storage. Well, if the herbs go to the heart organ, the fire, it has a function for the blood circulation and the mind. If it goes to the spleen, the earth, it plays a function for digestion, blood sugar, dampness. If the herbs go to metal, the lung, it moves the qi, it regulates the qi, and it's for body immunity, for skin, for respiration. If it goes to the herb with the water organ, it has a close connection for the essence, for the growth, for the aging, for the hormones, for the sex, things like that. Well, there are lots of study which has been proven that the herbs which goes to kidney has an effect for postpone the aging. So it has a great future for the herbs which choose the channel of kidney, the organ of kidney. For example, a herb entering liver and kidney, it has both effect for the liver organ and kidney organ. So it has a connection for the vision, aging, and hormones. If the herbs are entering lung and the spleen, it has high possibility to regulate or strengthen the immunity and the digestion. So when we learn this part, the organ selection or the channel selection, we open the door to the specific body function and related organs and the medical issues. Number four is the direction of action. It means it moves qi, the way the herb moves qi. The direction has four kinds. One is ascending, it means raises qi, lifts prolapse, that means the prolapse of the organs or prolapse of the qi, things like stroke. So for stroke clients, we often use herbs to ascending qi, raise qi, or the herbs with ascending character, the ascending ingredients, the ascending feature, ascending function, ascending effect, no matter what you call it's ascending. For descending, it calms rebellion like nausea and cough, especially for nausea and cough, and also for hypertension. If something goes too high, above normal, above average, we need the herbs with ascending direction of action, make this situation go downwards, make it calm down, especially for those who have counterflow, like the counterflow of esophagus. We need to use herbs with direction of action to descend. Well, for floating, it has a function to release exterior, like producing sweating. For sinking herbs, the direction of action is to think, as not to think, is to think. It's like anchors. It stop leakage. It make it go downwards and make it the body stable. So sinking herbs also has a similar meaning as the descending, but the sinking herbs, it has a stronger effect than descending, and comparatively it not used as common as descending herbs. For example, for prolapse, that's very similar to what we called stroke in modern days, or the people lose consciousness. That's or shock. Yeah, that's often this is called a prolapse of the qi. Well, ascending herbs is used for vomiting, for nausea, for cough. We use descending herbs. It's a very simple classification of the herb characteristics and the functions. So this part is just a very general classification. It's like yin and yang. It's just up and down, ascending, descending, floating, and sinking. Number five is functions. For example, 甘草, yes, that's what herbs actually does. That's functions. It has multiple functions for one herb, and we often use common function categories like 甘草 can tonify qi, blood, yin and yang. It can clear heat, it can clear fire, it can clear toxin, uh, and also it moves qi, moves blood, it transforms phlegm and dry dampness and calm shen, as calm the mind, and expel wind, cold depths. Herbs are grouped by function, not by disease, which means the category for or classification of the Chinese herbs, the herbology is not by disease, which herb treat what disease. No, they just classify like the functions, what function the herbs can work. It can, or primarily it works in some functional categories, and it I put there. So some herbs can be found in two or even three categories, but the primary function has been fixed. For example, tonify qi herbs, clearing heat herbs, lots of. Well, number six is indications, is 主治, that what patterns the herbal treats. And here we have to emphasize that TCM treats patterns, not diagnosis. The Chinese medical doctors, they treat the diseases. No, they treat the patterns. Pattern is a summarization of the symptoms and pathogenesis of like a syndrome. That say the TCM treats syndrome, not disease. Or you see Chinese medicine TCM treat syndrome, not symptom. So this pattern is a summarization of the disease and of the syndrome. For example, there is no diabetes in China, but actually there's another name. It's called 消渴. That's consumption. And thirst. It's a description of the primary symptoms of the diabetes clients, but it's just a title of such kind of disease, but they care not too much about the disease itself. It's just care about the pattern. So it means what is the mechanism of the disease to cause the consequent result, the consequences. So they have a summarization of the pattern as spleen qi deficiency, liver overacting spleen, and kidney yin deficiency. There are three common pattern for diabetes. So when you treat a client who have been diagnosed as diabetes for by the modern medicine, by the medical doctor, you have to give up this mind, and you concern much on the symptoms the clients appear, and try to find the mechanism, which organs play the effect on the client and cause the result. And that is the pattern. And the pattern is like that. It's a spleen qi deficiency. So if we see a diabetes client, the TCM practitioners will say, oh, he's client who has a pattern of spleen qi deficiency, and the indication of the herb is that we need to find the herbs to treat the pattern, the spleen qi deficiency, which means the herbs need to have the function to tonify, to supplement the spleen qi, and turn back the balance of yin and the yang to normal. And also the formula with the herbs, we need to put the herbs either uh, tonifies the spleen qi or assisting the spleen qi or assisting the producing of spleen qi, and the herbs to restrict the causes to cause of spleen qi deficiency. So it's a well designed strategy of the herbs to combine together to make a group and to regulate the abnormal mechanism of the body, that is the disease, the cause of the disease. And the Chinese medicine, the herbs has played the effect to regulate the mechanism. And the herbs primarily regulate the mechanism for specific aspect that's called indication of the herb. And seven is dosage, is called 用量. It means how the dose affects function, and that is the most secret part of herbs. The teacher can tell you the herb, the teacher can tell you everything of the herb, but the teacher will keep the dosage, how to use the herb, and that is the key to the effective treatment. Well, the herbs, if it has a low dose, it will often play gentle and regulating effect. If the herbs have high dose, it will have draining, purging, and sedating effect. So if you need a strong effect, you often use high dose. If you need a mild, gentle, and regulating effect, you use a low dose. Example, 大黄, if you use small dose, it moves blood. If 大黄 use a large dose, it will purge boils. As for constipation, so dosage is really an art for using the herb. Number 8, processing is called 炮制. It's also called the preparation changes function. That means we can use the raw herbs and we can use the prepared herbs. That preparation is on the basis of our purpose to use. For example, if the herb is honey fried, that's fried with honey, use honey and water to soak the herb and dry it, it more tonifying effect. If the wine processed, it moves blood upward and make a strong effect to move the blood. If the raw herbs, it has cold nature generally, but it's cooked, it will has effect to tonify, because cooked herbs go more to the spleen for digestion, and it has a better effect for absorption, so it has better tonifying effect. So same herb doesn't mean the same effect. We have to ask whether this herb is processed or not. Especially those herbs are purposely processed. It has a stronger and better effect than the raw herbs. And number 9 is compatibility. It's called a PAVE. It shows how herbs interact in formulas. This part we can talk about in detail afterwards in the formula. And it's a huge topic about how the herbs combine together, as we discussed about how the herbs they work for the pattern. It's a group and it's a team. We need a teamwork of all the herbs to work together and not conflict with each other and plays the best effect to get our purpose of the treatment. The classic principles like mutual enhancement, that means one plus one more than two, and the mutual assistant as chief and deputy. That just means assisting. That's make the one herb to help another herb, to support another herb, to make the chief herb play better effect. And the mutual restraint, that means reduce toxicity. Toxicity as means if the herb it has strong effect but is too strong and it can produce some poisonous or side effects, and we need another herb to restrain the bad side of the herb and play the good side of its original function. So here we use the mutual restraint of the characteristic of the herbs. That's also a very classic compatibility of using the herb. And there's another party that's incompatibility of the herbs. That means if you put two herbs together, it will produce poisoners or toxicity like 18 antagonism and 19 incompatibilities. This is why TCM use formulas, not single herbs, because the single herbs is like a single hero. Uh, in Chinese medicine, there's no rainbow. There's no rainbow in Chinese herbs. There's just a group of the herbs, and you can only know about who is a king, who is a chief of the formula, but you cannot know all the partners or the members of the team. And in TCM formulas, rainbow is not recommended, is not advocated. And number 10 is chief, deputy, assistant, and envoy. It's 君臣佐使. It's a higher or superior compatibility, or we call it a team group or team grouping, team making, team generation, no matter what you call it, but it's also called formula hierarchy. They put the formula into several levels, and each level there are some herbs put into this we see category. There are chief herb in formula. It can be one chief or double chief herbs in one formula. It plays the main therapeutic target. So these herbs or this herb or these herbs is or are called chief herb or chief herbs. Is 君 herb. In Chinese is king or chief herb. And the second is a deputy herb, is a chen, like a minister, hello minister, minister herb. It supports chief. And the next lower level is called assistant, is like a secretary. It's 左. 左 means balance side effects to treat the minor issues, to help the chief and the deputy for the daily work. It's like a secretary. I like to call it a secretary herb. It's balance side effects. And envoy is called 使 or messenger. messenger herb. Messenger herb is often used to guide formula to channel to specific organ. So it's also we need a guide. We need a tour guide to go to the target because tour guide knows which way is the best way to go. So the guide or guiding herb or messenger herb is called or envoy herb is to guide formula to the channel. So why I said selection of the channels enter the channels or enter the organs herbs are so important. It make our target to be more focused on our purpose of the treatment or and can prove the therapeutic effect for the entire formula. Well, let's take a look at the famous herb Gancao, as we call it sweetie one, Gancao, to explain the 10 basic theories of TCM herbology. Why Gancao is a teaching herb? Gancao can perfectly demonstrate that an herb is not defined by one property, but by a system. It has a system with nature, taste, channel selection, direction, function, and context. This is the heart of TCM herbology thinking. So, herbology is not to learn the herbs, but how the TCM practitioners and the classics think about the herb. First, nature, for qi or for natures, Gancao is neutral. It's very widely used because it's neutral. It means it's not too hot, not too cold, not too warm, not too cool. It's neutral. So it has been used a lot in the TCM formulas. And the neutral nature is when it's raw. Its raw situation is neutral, but if it's processed, it's honey fried, we call it the 炙甘草. Here, 炙 that means processed. If the gancao is processed, especially by honey, and its nature turns from neutral to warm. And the teaching meaning is neutral herb is suitable for many constitutions as for many kinds of the body natures, body constitutions. And warm, if it's processed, is better for qi deficiency or yang deficiency. And that is the meaning why we need to process the herb, because the herb is like a tool. If we find it's not sharp enough, we have to sharpen it. This shows how nature determines when a herb is appropriate. Second, taste. The gancao has the flavor or the taste sweet. The sweet taste functions, tonifying deficiency, harmonizes and moderates urgency and toxicity. This explains why gancao tonifies qi, reduces harsh effect of other herbs, and is used in so many formulas because the taste is sweet. Sweet can moderate everything. But here we have a question. If we need the herbs to treat an emergency problem like shock, like stroke, should we use gancao? The answer is no. We don't need to use its moderate taste, its sweet taste, its moderate function to slow down the effect. We don't use gancao. We use the strong herbs, just a place effect. A third is channel selection. Gancao enters the organs like heart, lung, spleen, and the stomach, And here, stomach doesn't belong to the five organs. It belongs to six full organs. It's not five organs, it's six organs. So it's another system of the organic system. But the stomach has exterior and interior relationship with spleen organ. So it can look down as it goes not only to the stomach but also go to the spleen, and you can also know it goes to spleen, which represent it goes to stomach. The teaching logic is hard if it has a channel selection or organ selection to the heart. It comes shen, regulates pulse. If it goes too long, it stops cough, clear throat. If it goes spleen, it's tonifying qi. If goes stomach, it harmonizes digestion. Well, channel selections tell us where Gancao works most strongly. So it has those too many organs to go. But in my experience, primarily, Gancao goes to spleen. Gancao is number one herb to go to the spleen. And number four, direction of action. Gancao's direction is mostly moderating and harmonizing, so there's no obvious action, direction of action to ascending or descending. No, it's very calm. And it's slightly ascending when honey fried, because after processing, after being processed, Gancao has a direction of action, it is slightly ascending. For clinic meaning, does not strongly push qi up or down. So you take Gancao, you drink the Gancao after soaking in the hot water, it will not have very strong effect or side effect when you take it. And it acts as a buffer and a stabilizer. So it makes the body stable and it stabilizes the body. The direction explains when Gancao is safe and balanced. So it used in the herb not only because it's safe, but because it has neutral flavor, its neutral nature, and it has a sweet flavor, and it also has a very moderate direction of acting. It's calm and stable, and can harmonize the entire formula to be calm, to be balanced. And number five, functions. Gancao main functions has tonifying spleen qi, moistening lungs, stop cough, clear heat, relieves toxicity, relieves spasm and pain, and harmonizes other herbs. This shows how one herb can have multiple functions depending on context. So Gancao is a multiple function herb, and it can say most of the herbs have multiple functions. So here, why we emphasize the channel selection or organ selection of each herb, that's show the importance of it. We need to know about the most of the functions or the entire functions of one herb, but we use the most important function and the targeted organ it goes. And number six, indications, 主治. Gancao can treat patterns, not disease. Here we need to emphasize again and again. It's for the pattern like spleen qi deficiency, lung qi deficiency, toxic heat, pain due to spasm, and harsh or conflicting formulas. This illustrates the pattern-based logic of TCM. So Gancao is not treating the disease, it's treating the pattern, it's treating the syndrome, it's treating the mechanism of the disease. So that's indication of 甘草. And seven, dosage. 甘草's effect changes with dose. If it has small dose, 1 to 3 gram is used for harmonizing. If use moderate dose, 3 to 6 is tonifying. If it has used a large dose, it has 10 to 30 grams. It has like a antidote, relieve toxicity. It plays the effect as cortisone. If you use a very high dosage, that's that's amazing effect. If you use appropriately, it can play the effect far better than the cortisone, and it's very good effect for anti-inflammation and for immunity regulation. Dosage is a part of theory, not an afterthought. Its dosage is based more on the personal understanding of the herb, and also it has a close connection with herb quality of it. Different places of different herbs, it has different effect. And number 8, processing is how we process the herbs for therapeutic effect. The raw 甘草, it has effect to clear heat and detoxifies. If it honey fried, it's 炙甘草. It has stronger qi tonic. If it's baked or carbonized, it stops bleeding. It's not as often used, but it's rare used. But it's often used in Asian China because there's no medication for stops bleeding, so they have to use the carbonized 甘草 to stop bleeding, and it plays effect. Processing changes nature, direction, and the function. We have to think about it. And we have a list of processed and not processed raw herbs for commonly used, like ginger, carbonized ginger, baked ginger, the raw ginger, and dry ginger. We'll have a list afterwards. And number 9, compatibility. 甘草 demonstrates all major compatibility roles. It enhances qi tonics with 人参 as ginseng, and reduces toxicity with foods. And foods is toxic, but very strong herb to tonify the yang. So if 甘草 with foods, it can slow down and reduce the toxicity of the foods. But if you need emergency use, you will not use 甘草 to go with foods because it will slow down the effect of foods to save the collapse of the body, prolapse of the body. And moderates harsh purgative, as with 大黄. 大黄 is a herb to make purgation, to moving the bowels. And if you place 甘草, it will make it slow down, especially for those old people, for senior people. You don't need too strong effect to have a harsh purgatives. So you put 甘草 into the formula. That can slow down the effect. An important teaching point is 甘草 participates in the 18 incompatibilities with 甘穗, 大戟, 原花, and 海藻. Those herbs are poisonous or not poisonous, but if they go with 甘草, it's been poisonous. So you cannot use 甘草 together with previous for herbs. This shows that even gentle herb have rules. It's not as safe as you think, but if you use with other herbs, you have to think about, do they have conflict with each other? Do they have incompatibilities of each other? So when you make a formula, you have to think a lot. And the last one, number 10, formula role. That's 甘草 can be chief, like 制甘草汤. That's honey processed 甘草 to play as the chief in the formula 制甘草汤, as named after it. And the deputy, like 四君子汤, for gentlemen. That for gentlemen formula is so famous, and Gancao plays a second position, takes a second seat of this group, of this team. And Gancao are largely used as assistant, that's in many formulas. And envoy herb, that's guide and harmonize, especially for the formula to treat the spleen primary patterns. And this proves that the herb role is contextual, not fixed. So Gansao plays effect in different position for different patterns and in different formulas. So it's flexible, very flexible. That's our purpose and our wishes, that people can understand the herb and use it properly. Well, let's have a core teaching summary. An herb is defined by 10 theories of herbology, the 10 characteristics or 10 aspects of one herb. The most important parts are nature, taste, channel, selection, direction of action, function, and compatibility, which means that one herb is not only one herb, it has multiple functions. One herb is not one herb, it needs to have its position in the formulas. One herb needs to go with the other. It's like play a game, play PUBG. If you play alone, you are possibly very easy to die. But if you're a master, okay. But if you're a very average player, we need to have a team. You need to go with a team. It's like one herb. It need to play to find the position in the team. And this system allows TCM to treat complex conditions and individualize treatment. That's very personal and individualized treatment for a client. It's like a herb, one herb in the formula, and also a formula for one person. The person have multiple systems with the compatibility of organs, negotiation of different systems. So the herb is the same. We need to personalize and individualize the treatment for one client, like the effect of each herb in the formula. And we need to adjust the formulas dynamically and flexibly. We need to put the herbs, we understand each of the herbs' characteristic and make a combination. That's the topic of our formulas, the formula study. And the formula is a brilliant invention of TCM theories and applications. I hope to see you at that time, and I think that will be very impressive. And thank you for watching.